So, we just live in what I think is happening is that they're trying to pollute our heads with such useless sewage and misinformation so that people don't know if they're coming or going. When we talk about this
Yeah.
assassination attempt, I've never seen so much misinformation coming out instantly, so no one knew exactly what was happening. And my
Yep.
whole theory is this, is that there's a war on our minds, a war on our spirit, and they just want us so dumb, unhealthy, full of anxiety that we're not capable of understanding how our government works. That we're incapable of being able to follow along and actually stop whatever these elites, these oligarchies are doing. They just don't want to go. And like, so when people go, hey man, if we cure cancer, all right, the economy is going to crash. If we win the drug war, the economy is going to crash. If we stop war, the economy is going to crash. Well, I'm thinking that maybe our economy needs to crash and needs to be redesigned because it's built on suffering and pain. And I just feel like we
Absolutely.
just people can't pay attention to. Well, so, what are your thoughts on that? Everything with the Pentagon, all that stuff.
Dude, absolutely. It is built on suffering. It's built on sucking the life out of 90% of us in order to enrich a tiny group. You have 66% or 61% or something of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Roughly the same percentage can't afford their own house. Meanwhile, we have 17 million vacant houses across America. So that shows you how poorly our economy is working. Economics used to be the study of how to make a society work. That used to be what it was about. Now it's just about enriching people who are so rich they could never begin to spend all of the money they have. It is just a full-scale exploitation of all of us. And a lot of what you're talking about is just to make sure that we don't unite against that ruling class, against the ruling oligarchs. It's just designed to divide us and make sure we keep infighting rather than actually addressing the class war that has been done against us. It's not there should be class war. There has been class war perpetrated by the billionaires and multi millionaires for generations now. And we're just the troglodytes at the bottom that get exploited out of all of it. And so yeah, it's just designed to divide us and make sure that we don't work together to create a better future, which is absolutely, we're in a post-scarcity world. Like, we're in a world where it would be no problem at all for everyone to have clean water. The estimate of giving the entire world, the number one killer of people across the world is clean water, dirty water. To give everybody clean water across the world is like 30 billion a year. It's like pocket change for our Pentagon. But they have no interest in doing that. Our Pentagon, you mentioned the Pentagon. I've done a lot of episodes on that. If you include the black budget, it's over $1 trillion a year. For people to try and understand what $1 trillion is, if you make $40,000 a year after taxes, to make $1 trillion, you'd have to work for 25 million years. Okay, it's a laughable amount of money, and they have $21 trillion of unaccountable adjustments in their books that have just like disappeared. But on top of that, they've only been audited. They were legally required to be audited starting in the 90s. They never did it. They finally started being audited like 5, 6 years ago. They've been audited 5 times. Every single time they spend millions of dollars. It takes over 1,000 auditors. And every single time they have a press conference where they say, we failed our audit. End of story. That is all the information we get out of the Pentagon. This last time when they said they failed their audit, they said they can't account for 63% of all assets that the Pentagon has. Their entire and when I say assets, I don't mean hypothetical zeros and ones on a computer. I mean fucking Black Hawk helicopters, tanks, buildings. Literally, they find whole buildings that they didn't know they had. It's just like breathtaking the amount of it's some of it's waste, but most of it's corruption. Most of this goes into the pockets of weapons contractors, which are making trillions a year. And of course, that's another reason the war machine has to continue. I mean, the amount of money they've made from Ukraine or stolen from Ukraine, the amount of money they make by shipping bombs around the world is just unbelievable. So they have to keep these wars going.
And people don't realize that, you know, when you go, okay, we're giving aid to the Ukraine, what you're really doing is you're just having one hand, the Federal Reserve, handed to the other hand, the military industrial complex, and that's how the money works.